Hey guys, Zizaran here, and I want to talk about what's most likely going to be my league starter for 3.1, and that's going to be Ethereal Knives Inquisitor. It's a really good league starter. While it's not the strongest for boss killing, it's a really fast map clearer, and it still handles bosses pretty good once you get all the gear rolling. While you're progressing the Atlas, it can be a little hard to do some of the harder bosses, like for example Call-Warlord and stuff like that, although we'll find out what like the new Atlas will look like in terms of harder bosses. What you can do is swap to Blade Vortex, for example, for killing the boss. Especially with Decoy Totem, it's pretty okay. And then later on, when I did have my gear, I was pretty easily killing Shape Tier 13 bosses, even with a Bright Beat. And generally, I level it with Blade Vortex or Firestorm, and both are good options and fairly safe. For Blade Vortex, the links, in order of importance, is Blade Vortex, Added Fire, Faster Casting, which we later switch with Spell Echo, Pistol Lightning, Control Destruction, and Added Lightning. For Firestorm, it's Firestorm, Faster Casting, and I don't like Spell Echo for this at all. Control Destruction, Fire Pen, and then Conc or Ink area of effect, and Added Lightning. You just swap the Conc for bosses and Ink for clearing, stuff like that on Firestorm. For Bandits, you're going to help Illyria. And for your Ascendancy, first you do the Instruments of Virtue. Now, once you have this, you want to get Shield Charge, so you proc all the effects of it. After Instruments of Virtue, you take Augury of Penitence next, because you don't really benefit from anything until you get your Merciless Ascendancy. What you can do when you get your Merciless Ascendancy is you can either spec out of Augury of Penitence, or you can go towards the Consecrated Ground Ascendancy. It can be a little bit hard to go for the Righteous Providence and Inevitable Judgment early, because you kind of need to get at least above 35-40 crit to make it worth it. And that makes Pious Path a pretty good option early on. Actually, a lot better than I thought. Like, the cast speed is pretty insane. You will, however, be costing yourself 20 regrets by doing this. Once you do have the Uberlab, Augur of Penitence is your 4th Ascendancy. I usually start using Ethereal Knives once I enter maps after killing Kitava. I didn't have too much of a problem killing the early bosses with the help of a Decoy Totem. And as I said earlier, for some of the tougher ones in like Dungeon, Tower, stuff like that, I'll swap to Blade Vortex. The only time I use Ethereal Knives before maps is when I hit the Blood Aqueducts, and I stay there and I farm until around level 70, or however long I feel I need to be comfortable enough to kill Kitava. This also varies a little bit if I'm in a group or not. The gem setup for Ethereal Knives I used was Ethereal Knives, Spell Echo, Ink Crit Strikes, Pistol Lightning, Faster Projectiles, and Pierce. You can use Hypothermia instead of Faster Projectiles if you don't have enough damage, and this would also be the 6th thing. And you want a Herald of Ice, Assassin's Mark, Burst on Hit, and Ice Bite setup to give you power charges. And your other aura is going to be Hatred. Lightning Golem is definitely worth using in this. And you want to use a Cast when damage taken, Warlord's Mark, Immortal Call setup. There's not too much you need in the way of uniques. Generally I use a Bright Beak, as long as I have enough damage to clear, and you can switch that with a good Scepter or a Dagger if you are struggling on damage. Discos is a really good amulet if you play a lot, but with the decreased drop rate in 3.1, it might be so expensive that it's hard to get and hard to justify if you're not going to be using it for an insane amount of time. Her reward / charge is a really great amulet, and there's always the option of a solid rare. Voidwalker are amazing boots, and lets you remove Pierce and grab another damage gem like Hypothermia instead. Until you can get them, just any rare with movement speed should do. Make sure you get Leech on boots and Shun. It's easier to get from the Krula because it's so short and fast to do. Gloves, you need Hrimsorrow for the conversion, and you want a large chunk of your damage to be converted to cold, so that you shatter and freeze everything. Tabula is actually a great choice until Belly of the Beast, and generally rares work in most slots. If you want to look at gear, Zizaran Dead was my last Inquisitor EK. You can look at the gear on that character. You need to have the Ring of Blades jewel. For your rares, you want to get life on it. So then crit multi, cross damage, increased damage. There's a lot of mods you can get on jewels. Cast speed is good as well. Adzeria's Promise and Taste of Hate are some really strong flasks that you can grab if you can afford them. Pantheons I grab is the crab ones you don't get stun locked. And we don't need Yugel anymore, so Ralakesh is pretty good. and especially the upgraded Garukan one gives you movement speed, so that's a very nice alternative. I might be trying CR Lowlife because of the Valpak changes this thing, but because I haven't tried any of it, I'm not going to include that in this guide. Some good tips to remember is to level up 6 Ethereal Knives gems in your offhand. Then when they hit level 20, you can sell each of them with a 1 gem cutter prism. That turns them to level 1, but with quality 20. You level them back up again to level 20, then you vol them and you hope for a level 21, 20 Ethereal Knives. That is a very big damage boost. I'm going to be including some more information and leveling stuff in the description, so check that out. Hopefully this helps you guys. Thanks for watching. Check me out on twitch.tv. And guys, try to die less than I do.